Hi, guys. My name is Amena K. Thornton, and you are listening to the One Up podcast. This series, A Message of Hope, Stories from Struggle to Success, is recorded live, and we are on episode 31 today with Elizabeth Perez. She has come in to share her message of hope about how she was dependent as a spouse for 15 years. Is that correct, Elizabeth? I'm just making sure I get this correct. Okay. And now raising two little ones with a full-time job as well as a part-time job, just striving to be the best for herself and her children. So she's here today to explain the dynamics of what happened and what that put her through that life change, and also what she does every day to strengthen herself and better not only her life but other people's lives in the business that she does. So I'm totally excited to have her here, and she is just ready to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and let her start where she wants to start in her journey, and we'll figure out from there where to go. Also, I do want to put in here that you can watch these live videos on Amena.media. It goes straight to the YouTube channel. So definitely check that out. Make sure you subscribe, like the videos. That's the way they actually get shown to a broader audience to share these messages of hope, these real life stories. Thank you very much for all the support and all that you do for being here on the lives, because we also record them live. So yeah, I'm so excited. Like I said, again, Elizabeth, to have you here. We had a good conversation when you came on. So I feel good. How are you today?
Yes,
Doing good?
I'm doing wonderful.
Right.
I'm doing wonderful. Thanks for asking. And how are you doing?
I'm doing really good. I'm actually going out of town after this, so I'm so excited because it's like my first vacation since, well, I did take a mini little vacation, just me, in January, but it was like a business event, so it wasn't really a vacation, right? But I'm going. I'm taking my kids 4 days to the beach after this, so I'm excited.
Nice. So excited.
We're going camping.
Yes, I bet. So yes, it's good to actually. Thanks for inviting me on here. I truly appreciate
Thanks for coming.
it. And I honestly feel it was a divine thing to be able to be on here. So funny that when I got the invitation, it kind of just blew my mind. I had gone to a convention, Grant Cardone convention this year in February.
Yeah, and I was going to go to that one, but I just came back from the other one I was just mentioning in January, and that one is the same place. It was in at the Hard Rock Cafe right before they closed down, and you were at Mandalay Bay, right? So you were just down the same strip. So literally, I had an option to stay like another week to go to the 10X, but I need to get back home because I was gone 6 days for my kids, and that was like the most I was ever gone from them. So I need to get back home, but I would have loved to go.
Yes. That's cool. That was nice. So I went to this convention, and I've always wanted to share my story, and it's so crazy. I've always wanted to share my story. I've always had this idea to share it some way, somehow, write a book, or just speak it, just share it with somebody. And it's everybody has their own story, and and the story that we have is such an inspiration and could be an inspiration to somebody else, and impact someone else's life. That sometimes a lot of times many of us stay quiet, and sometimes we wallow in our sorrows and in our pain. And obviously there's billions of people in this earth, but we just sometimes feel like we're the only ones going through what we're going through.
I actually looked that up, Elizabeth. I actually looked that up today. It was like, it said it was we are one of 67 billion people. I was like, wow, that's a lot. I actually looked it up. Yeah.
Yes, and that's just like a big amount, whoa, mind blowing, and it's so crazy because sometimes, and it's like I said, so crazy because sometimes you go through things and you're just kind of like, nobody understands me or whatnot, and it's a foolish saying because it's like the billion people. I mean, there's like not millions, thousands, hundreds, that even could be feeling what you're feeling,
Oh
and it's just
God, I
sometimes,
know.
we just feel it by ourselves. But yeah, at this convention, it just kind of blew my mind because it's so funny ever since, I've just been really focusing on myself. Things have just been falling into place, and I'm a faith-based woman, and I thank God, because He opens up doors, and He allows me to see the signs that I need to see, to really strive in my life. And at this convention, they were talking about, sharing your story and how impactful it would be, and I was like, what? Like, I'm totally on board with this, like I totally feel it, and due to the expense of the thing, it kind of like kind of rained on my parade because, as a single mom, you're just kind of like, you're trying to do
Yeah.
everything, but, it's not cheap in this world, and it's
No, it isn't.
and it's a crazy thing, so I'm here and I'm just kind of like, okay, well, that kind of went out the window, but I was thinking, I still got to share my story out there. I still got to share my story out there. So when you invited me, I was blown away. I was like, oh my goodness, there's my shot, and it's so
Aw.
funny because, I had a, life kind of got in the way within the first, you invited me and I couldn't respond on time. So I thought, I lost my moment again, I lost that chance. And I just was just kind of like, oh, kind of bummed out. And, I just continued. But then, you reached out to me again and I was like, boom. I was like, that's God right there, straight opening the doors for me.
Yeah.
It's like, I didn't even think about it. I think I had just gotten the message when I was waking up, and I was just like, I was still like half asleep, but I was like responding to everything, all the, the things that, were required to, to share with you.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I'm on this, I'm on this, I'm on this. And, and I threw a twist in there, like just, feel free to ask me anything, I'm transparent, and I'm willing, to put myself out there and, just inspire, I love Les Brown. I always, held on to a quote from Les Brown that he says, I aspire to inspire until I expire. And I truly live by that, and it's such an amazing thing to be able to see somebody, do the transition from, married for so long and completely dependent, and with that, I'll start, sharing my story. I was, I met an individual in 2001 and I
Mhm.
completely, fell head over heels like we all do. And, I, as my childhood, I, I felt, I was raised in a broken home since I was 15, and, it crushed me because, I didn't have my parents together, and, it was
Mhm.
always trouble in my house. And,
Now, how old were you, Elizabeth? So when you met in 2001, were you still pretty
I
young?
was 19 years old.
Okay, yeah, that's when I
I was
met my significant other of 20 years we were together. So yeah,
Oh
I can
wow,
relate.
yes,
I can
yes.
relate.
Yes, and and it's, you're young, and like I said, with the background of, I feel like I lacked that security of a man figure in my life,
Yeah.
and and it's just, I met him and I felt like, he was my world, and I completely, fell head over heels, and it'd been backwards for this individual. And it's so funny because, like, you know I our relationship was rocky from the beginning, but I didn't want a broken relationship. And I feel like that's happens to, a lot of us sometimes, that, we feel that we can, you know, I was always raised, when something's broken, you fix it. You don't just leave it, and I feel that,
Yeah.
I had that mentality, and it was rocky, but I was like, okay, this has to be the person. This has to be the person. This has to be the person, and I can, it's me. I need to change probably. I'm the
Yeah.
one at fault, and I did that blame game with myself. And I was thinking I was doing something good, but in return, I was doing damage to myself, and I was literally pointing a finger at myself and allowing myself to lose my value, my confidence,
Yeah,
my,
your
and
self-esteem.
yeah, my self-esteem. And
Yeah.
within this whole time, all the years, it all accumulated, and, um, you know, kind of fast forwarding it, when we got married, whatnot. I got married when I was in 2007. I got married, and
Yeah,
it
so
was
we have a very similar story here on this part, because I was with my significant other for 6 years as well before we got married. So yeah.
oh wow, totally relate. I love it. I love it. And when I got married, it was like a total dependency. I didn't I stopped working when I was 23, and I just kind of depended on him, and he was the breadwinner, and
Yeah.
and it was just a dependency, on him, and when we would face rocky times in our marriage thereafter, I would I would feel like, okay, what do I do after this? Like, I have nothing, I have nothing like to offer myself. So I would feel like, okay, this cannot break, like I got to
Yeah.
be,
What else are we gonna do? Yeah.
yes. So, like you feel like it's a dumb thing to think,
I
but
know.
you kind of feel like you can't do nothing. And it
I think
falls
it's
all
in
back
that
to,
mindset, because when you're with somebody that long, and I can totally relate to the whole thing that you think you can fix either you or the person or the dynamics between you, like by changing
yes,
the
yes,
way they. I know mine was very much like, okay, I don't like this about you, or I don't like the way you do this, or why didn't you do it this way? And I'm just like, oh my God, I gotta be perfect. I gotta do this. I gotta do it just like this. I gotta clean this just this way that he says to clean it. I got to make sure all this is done before he gets home. And it was just like, I was constantly like having these anxiety attacks. Like, did I remember everything?
yeah,
Did I fulfill his needs today? So, it was always
yes.
like this, like, I didn't have time for anything for me. Like, what do I need out of this relationship? What things are going to secure, me and make me better? It was always like, it was always focused on him and, his life and what he wanted. And even when the kids were born, it was always like, okay, well, our kids are special, but, his needs come first. So what can me and our kids do to please him, basically? And
Yes.
it was like this whole weird dynamic. And it wasn't until like I started questioning everything, I was just like, why? Like, why are we doing this? Why are we, feeling crappy about, this
Yes.
situation? So
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And you just gotta shake yourself off of that
yeah,
mindset. It's something that it's like, it just gets a hold of you, and it really could do so much damage, and I feel, and now that I've like breaking out of those chains, I consider them chains, because it was just like you were enslaved to a way of thinking,
yeah.
and until you break out of that, then you really look back and you think, you fool, Liz, what were you
I know,
thinking,
I
it's
know.
just like you have everything, all what you need to triumph, all of what you need to make it happen, and you're just stuck there, and you let
Yeah,
so much time pass by, and I'm not living in the should have, would have, could have life. I don't sign up for that class, but it's just like, wow, but in the long run, it teaches us, we grow from it, and whatever happened to us, it's something that's part of our story,
yeah,
and it's literally has shifted the way we think now, and it's literally is behind everything that's creating what we're going to do for the future, and
definitely.
it empowered us, that's how I truly feel, because when I literally was fed up because my last child, I found out that he was having an affair on me for 7 months within this whole, basically my whole pregnancy. And it
Wow.
crushed me. It
Yeah,
crushed me to the core,
yeah.
especially, due to the fact that with my two little ones, they considered them spontaneous abortions. They would tell me I have 20% of, giving birth to my child. I had very difficult pregnancies, and I would be going in and out of the hospital like every other week. And
Yeah.
with my last child, with my little one, she's just like my world. So I have, a boy and a little girl.
Oh,
So it's like I have a little pair, like what they
yeah.
consider, and it's like I had this little girl and I have her in my womb, and I'm thinking, okay, I have my little girl, she's coming, and I'm just, spending my whole pregnancy in fear, and I'm expecting, my significant other to be sharing that with me,
Oh, yeah.
but not knowing that I'm being, deceived at the same time. It crushed me after I found out, after I
Oh,
had
of
my little
course.
one and I found this out. I was like kind of like in awe. My jaw dropped. I was shocked. I was like, really, like this has to be the where I draw the line, and it's like I'm worth so much, but at the same time I felt stuck with him. Like I'm such a considerate person, and I'm such a considerate person, a thoughtful person, that it hurts me to hurt someone else. I'm
Yeah.
a very loyal person. I'm a very honest person.
That's an
You
empath.
know,
Empath.
it
Empathic. Yeah.
yes, yes, and I completely, wouldn't want to hurt nobody else. So in order to save their feelings, I'd rather get my feelings
Yeah.
straight. That's the type of person I am, and it's self sabotage, but it's it's something that I don't know why I'm like this. I don't know why I
Well,
I, I
there's
work
actually
this
a
way.
dynamic to this, Elizabeth, that I actually read up on because in my case, there was a lot of mental abuse in my relationship, and just trying to like come to peace with it because being in a long-term relationship like 15 to 20 years and just realizing like who exactly was I married to, who exactly was I with, and what did I give up in me, and does that make me any different, or what does that make me, so after I was actually, researching a lot about this, if you are in a situation where you're stuck, it could be abuse or that, you just lose yourself in general, that they say that you become what is called like a super empath. So basically you become like the person that everybody relies on. So your kids and, family, friends and all that, because you are such, I'd like to say pushover, basically. So people like feed off of that. But it also makes you very unique in character because you know how to, you can basically feel other people's feelings, and there's not a lot of people that can do that apparently. Because I would be called a super empath too, but apparently this is not like a normal thing. It's just because we were like put in this situation where we were dependent on so much that it kind of developed that character, that strong characteristic. So it's actually very special. And, you just kind of have to make sure that, you do learn how to make boundaries. And I try to recognize that too. Like, wait, I'm giving them way too much of my time. These people, I need to back up.
Yes,
Like, I feel overwhelmed here. So there must be something wrong. I must like have to take back here and just be like, you know what? Thank you for the opportunity. But I need to focus on what I'm doing and, just let it
yes,
go. Because I don't know about you, but I know on Facebook, definitely, I get a lot of invites to be a part of stuff. And I just like, I would
yes,
love to, but I can't. At first I did because coming into, being stuck on somebody, for so long, I didn't really have, I was losing friendships over the years, and I wouldn't communicate with other guys like at all because that was like a no-no, like basic, but
yes,
but my ex could like have like girlfriends, right? I let him have girlfriends. He'd go
yes,
out, he takes them to lunch sometimes and stuff. But yet for me, he was always jealous. He was like, who are you talking to? What are you doing? Where are you going? I was like, oh my
yes,
God. I mean,
yes.
seriously, I'm not doing nothing. We have 3 kids. I'm raising them. I'm
Exactly,
doing business with,
exactly,
you know. So
exactly. And it was like a one-way street, right?
yeah, definitely. You
Yes,
too?
I totally relate
Yeah.
to that, and it's sad, because now you look back and you just realize it was their insecurities that were pouring out onto us, and it's like I once read, it's the majority of times people reflect of what they're doing onto you,
Yeah. Yeah. And
and
this is
it's
what's
and it's and
happening.
it's and it's sometimes, yeah, sometimes they judge you on what their lifestyle is, and it's just like, whoa, and it's like, how dare you, and it's like, and it's so crazy how that works, because the more I analyze people when they do that such thing to me now, it's like I'll just kind of sit back and kind of be like, do you do that? And then it'll pop out to light like, wow, they do that, you know? And it's like,
Yeah.
and it's they're just reflecting it, you know,
They're
and they're just
reflecting.
projecting it onto you, and it's so crazy, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's exactly what happens, you know. And yeah, when I was with this marriage with my baby, you know, and I drew the line. I was just kind of like, that's it, you know. I felt like a doormat, you know. I just kept on getting stepped on, and you know, and I was already used and abused in the mentality of them just stepping on me and just me trying to cover it up and just trying to be like, I can fix this, you know. And it's like, you know, I just really had to unstick myself from that, you know, and just really just write it out and be loyal to myself, you know. That's what I
Yeah.
had to be loyal to, and that's exactly what I did, you know. I went out to a business event actually, and I was out by myself. This is like the first time I had literally been out by myself, and I didn't have him, which I invited him to, but he, you know, refused to go. So I was like, hey, you know
Sorry,
what?
I'm
I'm
going.
going with it
Yeah.
without you, you know. And I was just like, this is, and I felt so awkward because I wasn't with him. You know, we were just kind of like glued always together,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I was out, and I started just like kind of feeling myself like, wow, I could do this by myself, you know. I could literally, I'm okay, I survived, you know, like as dumb as that sounds, you know. I'm like, whoa, I'm okay, you know. And you know, and right there is where it started triggering, you know, like, wow, Liz, you can be okay, and you know, you have such urgency to succeed in life, but there's things that you are allowing to hold you back, you know. And I really started focusing in on myself, and you know, I came back, you know, from this trip, and you know, I was just kind of like, I'm good, I know my worth, you know. And
Yeah.
I was like, you know, and sure enough, you know, his insecurities, did you meet someone, da, 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 you know, that all that started, you know. And it's just like, I socialized with many individuals there, you
Yeah.
know. And it's just like, I really got to see how social I was, because I wouldn't even really talk, you know. I was just
Yeah.
very shy, very quiet, you know, and it was just very reserved to myself. And you know, asked me, you know, a handful of years if I'd be on here, I wouldn't even have been on here. I wouldn't even have given it the shot, you know. Would I have wanted to down inside? Yes, but I wouldn't have had the courage, the knowing who I am and what I want to do in this world, you know, that has now led me to push me to be on here. You know, it's those little small things, you
Oh
know,
yeah.
that really, I'm really like, I'll look back and be like, wow, Liz, you go, girl, you know, because it's an empowerment, you know. You break loose from the shell that you were thinking that you were, and you know, you absolutely are not that, and you allow sometimes labels to define you, you know. And it's just, and it's wrong, and it's absolutely a no-no, because it stops you and it limits you from living to your full potential, you know. and
Definitely.
and when came back, I was just kind of like done. I was done. And
Was that
you
okay? So
know,
that was after he had the affair, and you were just kind of just
yes,
still
that was
going.
after I had the
Okay.
affair, you
Yeah.
know, my child, you know, after I had my child, all that, you know. And and it was just all after the affair. I still continued with him, obviously, but i I was just thinking to myself. It was just, you know, you're just stuck
Click.
in your thoughts,
Something
you know, and
clicks.
you're working, you
Yeah.
know. And it's just like, come on
Exactly.
now. Like, you know,
Yeah.
it's kind of like when you get, you know, in a fight or whatnot, you know, like when you get in a physical fight when you're small with your siblings, or and you're just kind of like, I had this, I know I could do this, or you know, it's just, you just start talking to yourself like, you know, like, this, I'm bigger than this, I'm better than this, what am I doing, you know. And you just start, and you know, it's just one small thing that just helps you trigger that, and you just, you know,
Oh yeah.
just birth out of that,
You
you know. And it's
wake
just,
up.
you rise from the, yes, and it's just, and it's, you know, and it's literally God that's just kind of like, you
Yeah.
finally snap out of it, you know. Like,
You're just
I
like
mean,
the
I try
other
to
voice
throw things
finally. The
at
other
you.
voice finally got loud enough.
Yes, yes. And it's crazy, you know. And you know, when I came back, you know, I literally, you know, wanted, you know, to just end everything, and that was my goal. And you know, he used my kids, you know, oh, but we're a family, and it's like these individuals know what to do. Like I said, you're so thoughtful, you're so considerate, and they know what your trigger points are, so that
Oh
they can
yeah,
control
that
and
that is
manipulate
true.
you.
Yeah, that is very true. Because
And,
when
and,
my
and,
ex left twice, I told him I'd never take him back again. And after that, it was always like, but we still have kids, and I'm just like, it doesn't matter. I'm not taking you back.
yes, yes, and it's like no, you cannot pull this card on me. I won't fall for it. Like, yes, I'm a loving person, but the boundaries have been set, and it's
Yeah.
like,
It's like, how many times do I have to take you back to be like, just thrown in the dirt again? No, I've grown and I set
exactly,
boundaries. And yeah.
exactly. And and you know what? Your old self is still there, and it's like, but you're just like, shut up.
Yeah.
Like,
No.
shut up. I've already been through hell and back.
This many times again. So no.
Yes, and it's you just really have to stick to your guns, and I did. I stuck to my guns, and it's I like you were just mentioning, you weren't able to have the opposite sex, friendships or
No.
whatnot. And
So
it's like,
I homeschooled my kids too. So we actually ran a business from our house for many years. Majority of it was either online startups or real estate. So we were always like together because we ran out of the business majority out of the house for many years. A couple times we had a small office, but majority of our relationship was always like together. And so that gave me the opportunity to homeschool my 3 kids as well. Cause I mean, we were always here. So, the opportunity came that I could do that. And I took advantage of that.
wow,
But not only that, it was always like, I couldn't, it was always other moms. So I was always, okay, other moms and everything. But I felt bad for my son because I was like, well, I'm always hanging out with all these women. And she has 2, so I have an older girl, he's my middle child. And then I have a younger daughter. So I'm like, he's just growing up with all girls at this point.
yes,
But I do have other families that, of course, their husbands are very involved in their children's education. So every now and then, I would go to their house and there was guys. And he was just like, who's this guy? I'm like, what? He homeschools his kids. And they're like, well, why is that? Where's the mom? Where's the wife at? I was like, she was at work. Like, I mean, come on. I'm like, it is a group event. There's a bunch of kids. We're watching the kids. I'm just, oh my goodness. Like, seriously.
Yes. It's so crazy, and it's so crazy how, like I said, is there insecurity
Explain, like everything.
Yes, absolutely. It's so crazy how they reflect upon us, insecurities, whatnot, and it's just like, they don't allow you to blossom and be your full self, and it's like,
I always had to
I'm
have
not
like
doing
an
anything.
excuse.
That's
Like,
the last thing on my mind, like like you're like trying to homeschool your kids. That's the last thing on your mind, trying to be with someone else,
I
like,
know.
like
It's like, do I really
your
want that
focus is your
dynamic?
kids.
I'm like, no.
Yes, yes, absolutely. So yeah, so I started, blossoming, and I started, really, stepping out my comfort zone and really being social, really, just being out there. And I came across this individual, and I'm not in my relationship anymore, and I came across this individual, male, and it was I'm not I'm I guess I was taken by the fact of meeting a gentleman, someone who is
Yeah.
not insecure, someone who is not, someone that doesn't, judge you, or restrict you, or have insecurities that pour upon you, and and someone that really like pushes you, and I think I fell in love with that, with the
Yeah.
fact that this individual, he was just, he was like, wow, you have so much potential. And I've never literally heard that, and they were like, it's like they were breathing life into me. And I felt like, whoa, like, this is so amazing, and it wasn't because I wanted, I was looking for another
Yeah.
relationship or whatnot. I was loving the fact that there was a male that was literally breathing life into me, and it was seeing what I could be rather than what I'm not, or where I'm at, but literally kind of making me be like, wow, there's so much more to this life. I can be so much more, and that's great,
Oh yeah.
and it's so crazy because, I later and got involved with this individual, and, I now I'm not with this individual, but, long story short, I would always tell him, you know, I dreamed you into life,
Yeah.
because it's something that I've always wanted, an individual
Secure.
that was not insecure, that really had his life together, that would push me to strive more. They say, you meet the right person when they make you be better than who you are,
Yeah.
and I was, on my toes on this per se, because of the fact that I wasn't like, oh my goodness, I'm going to be so involved with this person, so into this person that I'm going to lose myself. I was like, no, I'm going to tiptoe and I'm going to do this right this time. This is the second time around, I'm not
Oh yeah.
going to allow this person to define me, but at the same time, I'm going to appreciate this person and really, appreciate and not pour my insecurities from what I came from in a damaged, relationship, and pour my insecurities or pour what I had from this relationship. I'm actually going to restart my life. So this individual, I would always say, I dreamed you into life. I dreamed you into life. And up until earlier this year, we ended things, and it it affected me. I'm not gonna lie, but I came to a point where, okay, God, I'm not gonna wallow in my pain as I did. If I can get over a relationship for so many years, this relationship that was so short, I'm not gonna be crushed.
Exactly.
I'm not gonna lose myself. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna feel dependent on someone. I'm gonna appreciate the fact that you brought this individual in my life, and how I grew positive out of this relationship, and how it was a positive thing. And I was like, and it's so funny because I just kind of prayed and I cried my tears out. I let it all out because,
Yeah.
it's not good to bottle in,
No, it
and I
isn't.
let it all out. And it's so funny because the next morning I woke up and, I tuned into Eric Thomas. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Eric
No, I don't think
Thomas.
so. Maybe
He's called
something
the
like
hip hop preacher, they call him. He's actually one
okay.
of he's like the number one motivational speaker on YouTube. You should check him out. Very good.
Eric Thomas.
And, I was going to go to an event and he was going to be the speaker, but due to this pandemic, obviously the
Yeah.
event got canceled. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to tune into him and, get some inspiration, whatever, and I had no idea that, he was faith-based as well. And, little did I know that he was. And what he was speaking about really impacted me because he spoke about, the story of Joseph and when he got thrown into a pit, into darkness. And, what everyone thought was his end was actually his beginning. Because, sometimes God allows us to go into darkness for us to be able to create something that's amazing and beautiful.
Yeah.
And he highlighted the fact that God created the world when it was dark, and
Yeah.
out of darkness there's creation of amazing things. And I took that and I took the feelings I was feeling from, losing this relationship that I had just met, and I was like, okay, I feel myself in a dark place, but this is my time to create something that, you know, I didn't think was possible. Yes, I came from a damaged relationship. I went into, I grew out of that. I retouched myself. I met someone that kind of just pushed that onto me and said, Liz, you have that potential. You have that greatness. Push me, push me, push me, and kind of help me get through that. And now I'm left alone, but now it's because I was pushed through all that time. Now I can fly, now I could just fly and take off because I've flapped my wings enough
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
I can take off by myself. So now it's my time to shine, Liz.
Oh,
So
I'm
it's
so
so
proud of
crazy.
you. Because
Yes,
a lot of people,
yes. So
still get like I during my own transformation over the last, I'd say really 2 years, maybe 3. It really like started like I was questioning everything and just letting friends know and family know what was going on. But people would reach out to me and be like, "Well, this is what's happened to me and everything," which is amazing, and that's one of the reasons I started the show. But not only that, there's a lot of people still stuck. There's a lot of people still are not confident, and And I'm hoping these messages of hope will like give them that push. Like, you can do it too. You can do it too.
Yes, yes. And that's the push of me being on here, because I was like, you know what? This is, I don't know how far this is going to go. I don't know how many individuals are going to listen to it. But if they can just hear my story and the way that I was from someone who was just in a shell, that didn't even believe in themselves, that knew that I knew I had potential, but everything that happened to me just dimmed my light, and now I shine bright like a diamond, and
Yeah.
it's a funny thing, but I see myself and I'm just like, wow. I look back and now it's an amazing thing, and as I was just really doing the self reflection and just self thoughts and just really digging deep within myself. One thing, this individual that I had just recently met, he said, don't be surface, be deep. Go deeper, you're not going deep enough. And that I always hold on to, and I appreciate him. And in every way, I have no resentment, no grudge, and I'm really thankful that I came across his path, because it's shifted my mindset. And I feel like I was thinking, I dreamed them into life, but how can someone do that? How can we just end things? But in reality, God just shook my ground and said, you didn't dream him into life. You dreamed yourself into life.
Yeah.
And,
True. You found your
I
strength
even
through
get the
that.
chills with that, because it's everything I've ever wanted to be. I've always wanted to shine bright. I've always wanted to do the impact individuals. I've always wanted to inspire individuals, even if it was in the most smallest way. I always wanted to touch someone's life and to really make a difference. I know it's a long shot, but if I can just do an imprint in this world, I'm all go. And
You are.
it's
Every
something.
day. Yeah. Just keep
Yes, and
sharing your
it's something
stories.
that I share on myself, and people, people that I come across and I share my story with, and they're like, wow, they're like blown away, and they're like, thank you for sharing. You've helped me so much, and it's just like, wow. I just feel like that's just my duty on this earth.
Yeah.
That's my responsibility. I've grown out, my comfort zone. I've learned that I've actually gone out to skydive, and I feel, that's one of
Awesome.
my favorite things to do now,
Awesome.
skydive.
I haven't
It's a
gotten the
total,
skydive, but I walked on flames
yes,
last year. I walked on fire last
yes.
year. So, yeah.
You definitely got to try it. You definitely got to try it,
I
Amena,
really
because
wanted to go because a group of people were going, and just due to me being a sole parent, I couldn't just like get up at that time and go. But yeah, it's definitely. I was like, you go again. You let me know.
yes, you know what? You definitely. I went, my first time, and I was blown away. I was like, wow, it's now I see it like kind of a spiritual thing,
Yeah.
a self, like a realignment thing. I take it
Mhm.
as I've done it now 7 times, and
Wow, that's quite a bit.
it's yeah, it's an amazing thing, and it's something that I would never have done. It's something that I would have never have even thought of. But it's just when you're so hungry for that growth, when you're
Oh
so
yeah.
hungry just to push yourself out your comfort zone. They say success lies outside your comfort zone.
Yeah.
And it's like Les Brown says, you gotta be hungry,
Yep.
and you gotta be hungry to grow. You gotta be hungry to make that change. You gotta want it as bad as you want to breathe, simply,
That
to
is
put
true.
simple
That's
words,
very true. It's
and
only
it's
thing
like,
anything.
how bad do you want change? How bad do you want to be able to say at your deathbed, I did everything possible that I can possibly have done to impact lives, to change lives, to blossom into the beautiful flower that I am, now. And it's just, you leave so much behind. I tend to have I started this year, actually on the 31st of last year, I started a journal, a gratitude journal. And I know I'm grateful for millions, thousands of millions of things, but I write 5 simple things that I just it comes to my mind of what I'm grateful for that day. And I do it at the start of my day. And that there has really shifted my thought, shifted the way I think. It shifts my day each and every day, and it impacts me to just be like, wow, I'm so grateful. I may be going through trials and challenges within that day, but just as right down, I am grateful that I am a positive thinker. It's just, it
It's a
just
good way to
breathes life
start.
into you.
It's a good way to
And
start
it's
the
and it's
day.
an amazing
Yeah.
and it's an amazing thing, and I love the fact that I'm able to do the transition from a life where I didn't see nothing down the road to now where I see so much out there that I want to do so much, give so much, be so much. And it's just like the best is yet to come, and it's an amazing thing. And I thank, God, because he's the only one that can have given me the strength to really pull through this storm. If it doesn't, the storm never, you bend, but you don't break, and it's there's a saying in Spanish, God, it says, te aprieta pero no te ahorca. And that means he squeezes your neck, but he doesn't choke you, and he makes you kind of be like, I need to do something. I need to really, I need to shake it off. It's kind of like holding you underwater. If I hold you underwater, you're going to do everything to get
To get
out of
out.
the water
Yeah.
and breathe, and that's what God does to us, and he allows us to go in through these storms to where we really feel like it's the end of our road. But when you really cry out to him and just say, God, just take the wheel. I'm tired of taking the wheel. I'm tired of driving in circles. Take the wheel and just bring me out into the light. It's just like, boom, it happens. You just got to hold on and have faith. Faith is what
Yeah.
moves mountains. And
Like
I
that.
feel like, that truly is, my life. That truly is my life. I have my days. I'm not perfect. I have my days where I'm kind of, and I'm just kind of like, but it's personal development.
It
I
is.
tend to
It's
listen to
daily.
20 minutes of
It's daily.
personal audio daily, and it's what we allow to go into our mindset. What are we hearing? What are we hearing? What are we allowing? I mean, music is great, music is beautiful, but sometimes just repeating the same thing, it
Some
all
of the
depends on what
music
type
though
of
is very destructive. Like I was listening to some
exactly.
lyrics that music that I used to like, and I was like, well, let me put that on
Yeah,
my old playlist, and I was like, it's interesting because I'm like, wow, this is really destructive. If you really listen to it, like it really like put it
exactly.
in your mind, and that's what's like absorbing in your subconscious because you memorize the lyrics, right?
Exactly.
And
And
I
it's
just like
repetitive.
interesting,
Yes.
you know?
Yes, and it's like so much, and it's like, there's beautiful music. You could say they're beautiful. The artists know they have beautiful voices or whatnot, but it's like a lot of the music is about pain. A lot
Yeah,
of it is about pain. It's about
loss.
hurt. It's about sorrow. It's about and sometimes they have great rhythms. I'm not gonna lie,
Yeah,
but the whole
but
point
it's
is, it's
creative.
like
It's
what the
creative.
words. It's like what the words are doing to you, and it's like it does something like to your,
Yeah.
like you say, your subconscious. You grasp it and you don't even acknowledge it, but
No.
you're taking this in, and you're really letting it sit inside of you. But that personal development, it breaks it breaks it. And that's why I think to myself, I can sit here and listen to a song that's going to be so hurtful and so sorrowful, or I can listen to something that's going to encourage me, that's going to tell me, get up and do it, Liz,
It'll
be
change
the
your
change.
mood. Yeah.
And it's like what do I rather pick, and it's like, it's pain or pleasure, and if you're driven by it, and it's like, the what's going to uplift, encourage you, and make you go through the day and be like, yes, I'm empowered, yes, I can make that change, you're gonna go with that. And it's just, and like I said, it all goes back to having kids at the same time. It's just your why. It's like, in business, I was taught, if your why doesn't make you, if your why is not, it doesn't make you cry, it's not strong enough. You got to dig deep. Why, it stands for what hurts you, what heals you, and you really got to dig deep and figure out your why. Why am I doing what I'm doing? Why am I on this earth? Why do I want to achieve greatness? Why do I want to succeed? And you really got to stick to it, stick to your guns, discipline yourself, stay committed, and stay focused, and just run with it, and just achieve what you want to achieve in this world. And it's so simple, but what's easy to do is also easy not to do. But you just got to know the tricks and traits of how to remain focused, what's going to trigger my focus, what's going to allow me on those days that I'm not feeling it, on those days that challenges come, on those days that, you get so-called, those problems that come across your way, how do I jump over those hurdles and how do I succeed? And it's an amazing thing. And, I thank God that, he has empowered me with the tools. He has empowered me with the strength. And, I'm really pushing forward and,
I love your
really,
energy. I definitely
yeah,
love your energy, Elizabeth. But we're running
thank you.
short on time, so I'm going to ask you, what is this thing that you're doing now to help people, like in their day-to-day life? You're doing stuff right now, right, to help other people. Not only sharing your story, but are you doing something in your full-time or part-time business?
Yeah. Yes, actually, I am. I help individuals. I have a full-time job for a clothing line that manufactures for doctors and nurses. And, I decided, that's just going to be a paycheck to paycheck life.
Yeah.
But now I decided to start my own business with a company called Legal Shield. And, I empower
What is it
individuals
called?
by giving
Can you say it a little
Legal
shorter?
Shield.
Legal Shield. Okay, I've heard of it
Yes,
actually. But what does it do?
yes, absolutely.
I don't
Uh, Basically, our mission is to empower individuals, to gap in the bridge of giving them access to the legal system just like the wealthy do, but for a fraction of the price. So a lot of the times many people feel locked out of the system because they check their checkbook before they want to do something in regards to their rights, and we empower individuals each and every single day, by giving them their rights back. So many things that have happened, within these past few months, past few days, and people injustice, and just to empower somebody
do
to
you
have
guys
that access.
do the lawyers come in and donate their time for legal assistance? Is that how it works?
It's a network of law firms, and
Okay.
we actually have a membership. Through a membership, you're empowered to have access to a law firm in each state. So
Very
here in
cool. It's
California,
actually
I have.
useful for everyone. I don't care what kind of status you're at, because that's useful, because you have even super wealthy or wealthy in general where they have funds, they do run across those multi cases, where people do want to destruy their business for it, right or wrong reasons, whatever the case may be, so I think that's powerful, not only for individuals, but
Yeah,
definitely for businesses as well.
absolutely, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And it's an amazing thing because I personally feel it's something that's just part of, it's part of what I was created to be. My mom has always told me since I was a child, you should be an attorney, and I
Yeah.
didn't make it to be an attorney, but it's so beautiful that I have the access to help people to the legal system, and it's
Yeah.
just like, wow, my mom called it, but she didn't pinpoint it exactly, and I feel like, wow, you know what, mom, you were onto something. You were onto something, and
Hey, you're still young, Elizabeth. You never know. Maybe one of these days you'll be an attorney and then a judge and a Supreme Court, and who knows?
there you go, there you go. But you know what? It puts a smile on my face to be able to help each and every day, individuals to have that access,
That's
to help
beautiful.
people, save their mortgages, to help people, save themselves some questions that they, have no idea what the answers are, because Google can only do so much, but having that
That's
direct
true,
answer
especially
from someone
state to
who has
state.
studied law. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So, I mean, it's an amazing thing. It goes hand in hand, with what I'm doing. Like I said, I'm always about inspiring others, helping others, encouraging others, empowering others. And this business to fall into my lap was a total blessing, to be able to put this into, my story, put it into my life, and just really drive with it, and really go with it. And I
Yeah,
truly,
definitely.
appreciate everything that, God has brought into my life. And it's a total transition from who I was to what I am now. And, like I said, the best is yet to come. And I'm just getting started,
I
and
can't wait
that's
to
the amazing
hear
thing.
what happens in the next few years to come. You'll have to give me an update, then we'll have to
Absolutely. We're
see
gonna
where
have to
this goes.
reconnect, and,
Yeah,
we're gonna
definitely.
have to reconnect and retouch, and just feed off of each other. And it's an amazing thing that, we came across each other's path. I really,
Yeah.
really, take it. It's not something lightly that I take it very heavy, and I hold it in my heart. And I thank you so very much, Amina, for reaching out to me. I appreciate everything that
Oh, I love that you
put.
came on and shared your story. Yeah, I definitely know what it's like. Just, being put in that situation where you're like, I'm not comfortable. I don't know if I can share my story. And then you're like, you know what? What am I doing? I am definitely comfortable. I went past my comfort zone and I didn't die. So let's see.
Exactly. I face fear in the eyes, and
You know.
yes, facing fear in the eyes. It's like I'll leave this, this video here with one thing, and
Yeah,
you
I
gotta
was going
face
to
your
ask you
fears.
that. I was like, what is a strong closing for today's message of hope? What is that? What would
It, it's facing your fears and knowing, it's what fear stands for. It's either, it's false evidence appearing real, which we're all sometimes, not sometimes, but we mostly think something that we cannot do because of fear. But we gotta flip that, and we gotta consider fear, face everything, and we rise. And that's it. We face everything and rise because we can do it. We have everything that we need. We are equipped with everything that we need to face everything and rise. And we just got to strive to thrive and really push forward because everyone has greatness within.
I totally agree with that. I totally agree with that. Yeah, you can't let those setbacks or that situation in your past like take over your whole life because, like I like to say, life is abundant because everything grows. But once you stop growing, what happens? You die, right? So you have to always keep growing no matter what. So you're going to have difficulties. Let's go look at plants, like how they can just like grow practically anywhere, in any situation. They try to find a way, right? And that's exactly what we can actually choose to do. I mean, we have the power as humans to flip that in an instant and be like, hey, I don't like what's going on, so I'm going to change this in the moment. So I definitely like that you said that, it's all about our mind. What are we thinking? And just get over that. Just stop thinking about it and just go for it.
Exactly. Shake it off and just go for it. Shake it off and go for it. We got it all. We can just do it. It's just a matter of us taking that first step.
Yes, definitely. Well, thank you again, Elizabeth, for coming on and sharing your message of hope with us, your story from struggle to success. Everyone that's on the live, that's watching here on the live, thank you so much for tuning in. Also, go over, see this video. It'll get posted the next few days on the YouTube channel, which is amena.media in your web browser to get to it and see this episode 31. So I'm so excited that, Elizabeth came on and all our guests. I'm so grateful for them reaching out and actually sharing this story. But we all got to do our part. So make sure that you share the page, you share the video. Anyone that inspires you, pick one, pick many. It's on a separate channel at YouTube, so you can actually go and see like all of them. And there's also some clips, so you can just kind of browse through. They're not all there, but definitely go and check out the clips so you can get an idea of each the stories and share the ones that inspire you the most. Make sure that you like all of the videos because we want to get these messages out to the people that need to hear them. So be sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, you like the videos, and you share them with your network and your friends and family. If you are listening to this on the One Up podcast, thank you for subscribing. Thank you for listening. And you too can share the message of hope. So please do your part and share this message. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you again, Elizabeth. And I wish you abundance and beauty. And I'll talk to you later. Take care.
Yes. Thank you. Have a great one.
Thanks. Bye.